First, let us start with opening day. Yes, it happened in Tokyo. Major League Baseball finished up this morning its first game of the season, Cubs and Dodgers. In case you missed it, this one goes to the Dodgers. Final score 4-1. They pick up where they left off last season. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. On the flip side, Shota Imanaga went just 4 innings and walked 4, struck out 2 for the Cubs. Tanner Scott, the new closer for the Dodgers, picked up his first save. No Freddie Freeman in this one with rib discomfort. No word if he will play tomorrow. Again, 6:10 Eastern game. Roki Sasaki against Justin Steele. Those are the starters as they finish up this series in Tokyo. Dodgers still, by the way, favorites. Not that this is going to affect anything, but the Dodgers are still favorites to win the World Series. Braves 9-1, Yankees 9-1. Take your pick there. It doesn't always work out to be the favorite. I know it did last year, but Dodgers are still favorite, of course, to win the World Series. All right, Paul George, not going to do his podcast for the rest of the season, also not going to play the rest of the season. That came fast, right? Life comes at you, as they say. This was reported by ESPN. He received injections in his left adductor muscle and left knee. That rules him out for 6 weeks. That takes care of the regular season for Philadelphia because they're not going to make the playoffs. He was consulting on a lot of different options, what to do. It just seems like the Sixers season was over, so he did this. By the way, in case you were wondering, this is one of the worst Sixers seasons ever. They are 23-45 on the season. And that is only 5 games out, Alex, of a play-in game in the NBA. What are we doing in the NBA? 23-45 and you're only 5 games out. I don't get it. Congrats to Bet365. They've opened up in Tennessee, officially launched. This is the 13th state that you can bet legally in on the app Bet365. Once upon a time, very, very popular outside of the United States, now popular in the United States as well. They become the 12th online sportsbook approved to take bets in Tennessee. BetMGM is there, so is Caesars, so is DraftKings, so is ESPN and FanDuel. If you live in Tennessee, that could be important to you. How about if you live in West Virginia? You may not be happy with your college basketball team not going to the NCAA tournament. One of the all-time snubs, it would appear, in the tournament, 19-13, 6 quad wins this season, but they lost in Game 1 of the Big 12 tournament to Colorado, and it seems like they're getting a little testy there, a little bit salty there. Their governor, Patrick Morrissey, has lashed out at the men's NCAA tournament selection committee, and he's asking the Attorney General to investigate the snub and work closely with the NCAA to make sure that that process was fair. And he even did it in front of cameras. Here he is.
West Virginia deserved to be in the NCAA tournament. This was a miscarriage of justice and robbery at the highest levels. Now, who was the last team to get into the tournament ahead of the Mountaineers? That would be the University of North Carolina. Now, let's see how their resume stacks up. The Tar Heels went 1-12 in quad 1 games and even had a quad 3 loss. And we keep hearing about the importance of these quad 1 wins, but UNC couldn't even get more than 1. We've been involved in dealing with the NCAA in the past. There are some watching now know that I brought litigation against the NCAA with a number of my colleagues a few years ago. I know there were a lot of chants to free Raekwon Battle, which is what we did when the NCAA rules for transfers was out of whack. It's hard for me to put that aside right now, knowing that West Virginia was out in front suing in 2023, and here we are, an NCAA, I don't know what's going on. Is this retribution? We're going to have to get to the bottom of that.
Hopefully they will, for West Virginia's sake. Some strong stuff. All right, Iona has fired their head basketball coach late yesterday. Tobin Anderson is out as their head coach. 17-17 last season. He was 33-34 in his 2 seasons at Iona. All right, first 4 matchups tonight. That controversial team, North Carolina, will be at it. First, we got St. Francis against Alabama State. Alabama State 3.5-point favorites tonight. It's in Dayton, Ohio. It is a 6:40 Eastern game, and the winner of this one gets to play Auburn. Congratulations in that one. Meanwhile, North Carolina, the controversial selection to the NCAA tournament, they are at 11 seeds. So is San Diego State. They'll play tonight at 9:10 Eastern. UNC 4.5-point favorites in this one, and the winner will play Mississippi. In the NBA last night, the Knicks were down to the Heat, who have struggled in a bigger way than they've struggled in a long time. And they came back and won. Miami's now lost 8 games in a row. Mikal Bridges had 28 points. Josh Hart had his 8th triple-double of the season. The Knicks swept the season series for the first time, get this, since 1992. 1993. The Rockets have now won 7 games in a row. They win in overtime 144-137 against the 76ers. The Pacers have been playing some incredible close games. They did it again yesterday against the Timberwolves in overtime. Obi Toppin had 34 points. Rick Carlisle, after the game, talked about the performance.
It was a battle of attrition in a lot of ways for us because once Drew went out, then there's no way TJ could play the whole game from that point on, and so Quinn Jackson was going to be an important guy one way or the other. And then it was just trying to piece it together. Anthony Edwards is as big a superhuman problem as there is in the game right now, and he made some spectacular plays. And then, on the very last possession, Thomas Bryant stayed square on Randall and forced a shot that was slightly short, and we're out of here alive.
All right, I don't know if I would have described it that way, alive, but so be it. All right, the Pistons dominated the Pelicans on the road. Cade Cunningham had 24 and 8. 127-81 the final. By the way, Zion Williamson had 30 points of the 81 that the Pelicans scored. They also announced that Trey Murphy III has a season-ending torn labrum injury that's going to cost him the remainder of the year, and hopefully he'll be okay for next season. Meanwhile, no Nikola Jokic, no Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets still beat the Warriors somehow, 114-105. Aaron Gordon had 38 points. Russell Westbrook had a triple-double. Steph Curry's status for tonight's game seems to be in jeopardy here a little bit. May not play, so keep an eye on that if you're betting that game. The Kings beat the Grizzlies 132-122. Domantas Sabonis was lost in this game to an ankle injury, and also the Suns beat the Raptors 129-89, trying to stay alive for the last play-in spot as Dallas is free-falling, and Phoenix may be able to get that thing. Devin Booker had 27 points. In the NFL, the Steelers have signed Juan Thornhill to a 1-year contract. Former second-round picks of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans are bringing in Ronald Darby on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. The Eagles signed Azeez Ujulari to a 1-year, $4 million contract. And the Vikings said that center Garrett Bradbury is going to get released. He spent 6 seasons with the team. Lane Johnson, of course, is staying with the Eagles. He reworked his contract. He wants to be an Eagle for life, and it looks like he will be before he ends up retiring.